41 and I work in the financial services. I suppose my hair loss probably began in my mid-20s, where people were starting to comment on, oh, you're thinning a wee bit at the back, and I was like, yeah, okay, but I'd always sort of taken a great pride in my hair, and obviously working in the office environment, it's just, you always make sure you have pride in yourself and make sure when you're meeting people that you've got a good haircut and it's not just all over the place. But yeah, so I suppose I just put that to the back of my mind, and yeah, I can't see it, and therefore it's not really happening, and I don't believe it's probably just my mates having a laugh. And so yeah, it was, I suppose the realisation came when I was getting fuel one day, and I looked up at the security camera and I was looking down at pretty much a mass of skin just sort of looking back at me. It was quite embarrassing really, because what you can see at the front isn't necessarily what you see, and you don't always look at the back of your head every day. And yeah, it was quite a sort of a shock to the system. So I just went home and said to my wife that yeah, it's time to come to terms with sort of being bald, and I can't just keep having a comb over and bought a set of clippers and shave my head. I always wore a flat cap and stuff outside just to keep me warm, but probably just to hide my head, yeah. So I'd thought about getting a hair transplant, but looking at the costs of it and looking at the sort of the celebrities that have had it done and the footballers that have had it done, and it's always in the press, it's always, oh, such and such has had hair transplant and oh, it's not really worked, and you're looking and you're thinking actually it's not, you can still see that they're thinning, so why would you spend upwards of £30,000 getting something done? And could I afford to do that? Could I afford to try it and for it not to work? That was that idea pretty much scrapped until I was reading the Men's Health magazine one day and saw the advert for Skalp, and yeah, it was, oh wow, you could have the shaved head look but not the actual skin looking back at you, the shiny skin looking back at you. So yeah, I'd read about it and I never mentioned it to anyone, but one day I was I had a day off work and I was in the house, and yeah, I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to take a picture of my head and send it to Skalp and see what happens. I took a pretty sombre picture of my face, my head, and yeah, it was shiny and patchy looking back, and there was no smile on my face, and it was just sent it in, and yeah, it was a couple of days went by and I got an email back from them, and it's like, well, here we go. So there's a couple of files in there, opened them up, and wow, all of a sudden I had this shaved look, but I had no skin looking back at me. I had like the look of a full head of hair. I thought, you know what, I like the way it looks, I like the person looking back at me, and I'm just going to phone up. And yeah, phoned up, got a consultation with Skalp pretty much straight away in terms of, yeah, whatever time suited me. So obviously I work 9 to 5, but yeah, it was when do you want to go in and what time suits you. So it was all sort of built around me. It wasn't, you've got an appointment for 9 PM and you need to be there. And I couldn't find the office to begin with because I was expecting to see pictures of bald heads everywhere and pictures of Skalp and come in for your free consultation and no obligations and 0% finance and all that, all plastered all over posters. But no, it was I actually thought I'm at the wrong place. It was a nice funky office, and you know, I suppose I was probably just expecting someone in a white coat to come down, like going to the dentist or whatever, and somebody would come in and they'd have like long hair and they'd be telling me how great this is going to be and I'd be looking at them thinking, well, how would you know, because you're not bald, how do you know what's going to change your life? And so yeah, so Derek came down and just in his normal clothes and his tattoos, and yeah, just got chatting, and went up, had another coffee, and just talked about random things. No questions were off limits, and yeah, it was all for like, I've had it done, and I was amazed to actually, wow, like he's telling me how much it's changed his life, and you can see it actually, you can see he's passionate about what he's talking about. And that for me was the big test. It was, okay, so I need to go back to my wife who married me as a bald man, but what does she actually think I'm going to look? And for me, the reaction was everything I wanted the reaction to be. There was a mixture of the people that I didn't tell that I was getting it done were like, there's something different about you, but I just can't put my finger on it. And it was almost, whereas the people I did tell I was getting it done could see the difference pretty much straight away. And I think for me it's a mixture of two things. It's, you don't want it to be too obvious because it's changing your appearance, it's physical, it's mental, but you don't want it to be too in people's faces. And I think that's what with Skalp do with the gradual sort of 1, 2 and 3 sessions, is it is a gradual, so it's not one day it's just right there and that's it.
So what actually in the first place made you go through for the scalp treatment then? Since you like, because you were pretty much comfortable with the way you looked beforehand anyway.
So maybe given that impression, but for me, just having that bald like skin look was sort of playing on my mind in photographs. I've always,
it was kind of like a saddening fact.
I've got used to my hair being short, and I've got used to the fact that it's always going to be short. But for me, it was just having that, instead of having that full face, where hair doesn't meet face, it's just one big continuous piece.
Well, it's giving you more a kind of frame to your face again,
So,
and then by that again adds, I'll maybe say, your youthfulness back as well, So
probably.
How did you feel when you first met me? Like, was it quite?
Yeah. So for me,
was it quite calming?
So meeting you for the first time was probably a bit different. I had an expectation in my head of what was going to happen, and be all clinical, but obviously meeting yourself and hearing about your journey and how you've had, and seeing that, being told that you've had it done, and just how it sort of changed your life, and that sort of put me at ease, as opposed to standing, as opposed to someone talking to me who's got a full head of hair, who doesn't really know what it's like to be bald, and they're trying to explain to me, if you're going to look different and feel different, because how would they know I'm going to feel different? Whereas you saying
I
that
totally
to
understand that. I do.
So you saying that to me is probably more sold it to me in terms of how you felt and how I could look.
No, just pretty much me just being me, being honest.
For me, it's like it's having a hairline. You can do it. It's achievable. It's affordable. It's open to any other guy out there who's thinking, like, I'm not happy with the way I look, and I mean. So second one's been done. I can't wait for the third one, to be honest, and just see how it's going to change.
Well, as you know, every session it's getting more depth, more kind of more realistic, more natural kind of thing. So
and that was the thing. That was another thing, because when I was looking at other companies who are doing the similar things, it was, we do 2 sessions, and I was thinking, so why is Skalp do 3? And that's what I like. That's what I like, is the conscientious piece. It's how you're not happy, therefore you just want to keep. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I was happy, but then you can see it. You can see your own work, and you're like, well, actually, I want to change that wee bit. I just want to do that wee bit.
Man. Well, I would say I'm really, really heavily into my work, and like I've got a lot of passion about it. You know what I mean? So I couldn't let you go with just, if I was missing one dot, I would have to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and that comes out. That comes out in the consultation. That comes out during the treatment. That comes out after
this is all very good
to
hear, man. It's very good.
And that makes me feel comfortable that you're not just rushing to get my head done and getting out
client
the door,
to client kind of thing. No.
You're not kicking me out to get someone else in. It's not like a grade. It's not like a trainee, a conveyor belt of people coming in and out. it's me on that day and it's focused on me, and you can't get any better than that, to be honest.
Yeah, man.
So for me, walking up the street, walking into a shop or speaking to people, you're conscious that you've now got a hairline. You're not. For me, it was like, oh, I'm not this sort of baldy old man, and it's like,
man. Yeah.
As you start to get a bit older and being 41, you hit that 40 stage and you start to think, oh,
I'm getting old here, but then
life's over and
there's some options.
Whereas now it's like you've got this sort of newfound confidence that you didn't think you had, and when you're talking to people, you talk to them differently because you know that they're looking at you and they look at you differently because you've got hair and you've got a hairline. And
well, I think it's a sad fact in life is that it shouldn't be how it is, but people do judge on how you look.
Seeing my hairline for the first time in 20 years to thinking, wow. And then the second one a bit more, so other companies are saying 2 sessions done, whereas with Skalp doing the 3, they're probably reading the forums or the websites and saying, well, actually only need 2, I'm happy. Whereas there's obviously, you guys do the 3 for a reason, and that's why you probably call that the perfect. Perfect bit. So
it's more good, passion, great, man. Because
perfection.
as I says, like, I've been there, been in your shoes, bought and wore the t-shirt, man, and took it off again. Like I've been through the whole process. You know what I mean? So I think that's makes it.
And I think that's what differentiates Skalp as well. So you're the guys that are doing the work are actually the guys have had it done.
Aye, man.
So you can sit there and listen, and you do understand.
I think it's propaganda in that, because
Skalp
it's like,
employ people.
These are real people.
So they've had the treatment. They're not, and you can.
I totally feel that. Aye,
so it's not some guy with the slick hair there.